Today on Cooking with Dustin, we are going to be making delicious, crispy chickpeas, otherwise known as garbanzo beans. We're going to flavor these with salt and vinegar. Okay, this adventure started with dried chickpeas. I put them in a pot. I let them soak overnight. I took them out and drained them. Now what you're looking at is I have these peas stretched out on a black towel. I'm going to pat them dry, then I'm going to let them air dry for probably a good hour. I want all the water kind of off of the surface. Okay, in order to get a really nice vinegar flavor like you get with a salt and vinegar potato chip, it's going to take using quite a bit of vinegar. So now that my peas have kind of dried from the water, I'm going to put them in a bowl and I'm going to pour a bunch of vinegar in there. Then I'm just going to keep stirring them up every now and then. I'm going to let these soak for probably an hour. Okay, I've let my chickpeas set for about an hour. Now I'm going to just go ahead and drain the vinegar off of them. Okay, now we're going to just put them in a bowl. Add some olive oil. They say about a couple tablespoons. Okay, I've got my baking sheet here lined with parchment paper. Put the chickpeas in there. I want them spread out so they're not overlapping each other. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now that we have those on the baking dish, I'm going to go ahead and just give them a little bit more olive oil. I'm going to add some vinegar to this. Also, the vinegar will cook off as it's slowly baking in the oven. But it'll help the chickpeas to absorb even more of the vinegar flavor. As I said earlier, it takes a lot to get that vinegar infused inside and on the outside of the chickpeas. Okay, we want our oven to be at 400 degrees. Okay, my oven's ready. I'm going to slide these in here, and as you notice, I didn't put any salt on these. What I have learned is that the salt just has a tendency to burn whenever you put it in there while it's cooking. So I wait until I get towards the end, and then I add the salt to the chickpeas. So we're going to leave those in there. They're going to have to cook for about an hour. You have to keep a close eye on them. You don't want to burn them. But what we're going to do is we're going to take them out occasionally and we're going to just stir them around in that olive oil and vinegar mixture. The vinegar is just going to steam off of them, but some of that flavor will be left on the chickpeas. Okay, these have been cooking for about a half hour. You can see they're starting to get a little bit of a brown color on the outside of them. I've stirred them a couple of times since they've been in the oven. We're going to put them back in, and for another half hour or so, we're going to really start keeping a close eye on them after about another 15 minutes. Okay, I've reached the 45-minute mark, and you can see these are starting to get nice and golden brown on the outside. Now I'm going to go ahead and give them a nice liberal coating of salt. That's going to help dry them out here and give them a little bit more color in the last 15 minutes or so that we're going to cook these. Stir that around really good. Let them get coated all the way around. At this point, you can go ahead and try one of your chickpeas. You can tell they're getting a little bit crunchy, and you can taste that sweet vinegary flavor on the inside. These are going to be really, really good. I'm going to get them back in the oven for another 15 minutes or so. Okay, that's the color I'm looking for. It's right on the edge of being really dark brown, not quite burnt. That will make them really nice and crispy. Okay, what I've done here is I've taken the chickpeas, I put them in a pan. In this bowl I have vinegar. I'm giving them some extra vinegar flavor, and I'm just spreading them back out on the baking dishes. You can hear they're really crispy. they're hitting that pan and making a lot of noise. We're going to salt them up really good. Now you probably could just squirt these with some vinegar too, and that would help, but for some reason they just don't retain the vinegar flavor, so this gives you that vinegar coating on the outside as they dry. Okay, I got them laid out on the pan. Give them a nice shake to spread them out evenly. I'm going to give these guys a really nice heavy coating of salt. Stir them around some more. Okay, at this point I'm going to just throw them back in the oven for maybe another 5 minutes to help that vinegar kind of dry out and the salt crust onto the chickpeas. Okay, that's the final step. Took them out of the oven. You can see the salt is dried up really nicely. It's the same way on the chickpeas, and I'll try a couple of them out here. They're still hot, but that's okay, and you can see how crunchy these are. Here we go. That's how you make salt and vinegar chickpeas. Make sure you subscribe and like our videos. Now it appears that I've done all of the work in this video, which I have, because this is actually Chef Destin's nap time. Every day he comes in here and finds this nice little cozy warm spot on top of the bed and he takes a nap. So Destin, say goodbye. Bye.